Let's continue. Let's pray. How look in the comfort, spirit of truth, who art ever praise and feelings of things, treasure of good things and giver of life, come and dwell in us and cleanse us of impurity, and save our souls, O good one. Let's continue. Let's repeat the last lecture. Let's repeat the last lecture. Topic: the period of apologists. Next. The periodization of patristic thought. First period, second period. Okay. The period of the apostolic man. Second period, the period apologists. Okay. Next. Nota bene. Nota bene. The main task, the period of the intellectual, literary difference of the church. Next. Nota bene. By difference, the church and the prior image. Apologies from the ground of missionary dialogue with the world. For activity, mission they will unfold. The 3rd century and brings the ancient world into the church. Okay, next. Let's repeat the last lecture. Nota bene. Aristide, Saint Conrad, Saint Justin, okay. Athenagoras, Athena, Tatian, Saint Theophilus, Saint Meleton of Sardis, Marcus Minus Felix, okay. Saint Irenaeus of Leon, okay, next. Nota bene. It is regarded as 3 tips can be apologies. 1. Addressed to emperor, addressed to private person, having no address. Okay, next. Repeat the last lecture. Nota bene, the most important method of apologists was the use of concepts, language, argumentation, and images that were close and understandable to the outside world. The world of Hellenic culture and Roman law. Okay, next. Next. Okay. Nota bene. Saint Justin Martyr, our philosopher, is the most famous of the apologists. Apologetic writings, apologies. First. And second conversion with Tryphon the Jew. Okay, next. 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 Nota bene. Important feature of theology. The center of fundamental theme, the Saint Justin theology, is doctrine of the Son of God as the Logos. Doctrine of the Son of God as the Logos. Okay, next. Doctrine of Logos. The Son of God, called the Logos, or the Word. Next. Next. Nota bene. Saint Theophilus entered the history of the Church as a revered saint, as one of the most important apologists, and finally as the characteristic representative of Antiochian theology. Nota bene. God become man so that man become God. God become man so that man become God. Next. Literary works, their epistles to Autolycus. This work is classic version of an apology addressed to a private individual. Okay. Next. Ideas of Saint Theophilus. Next. Nota bene. Then the introduction of Saint Theophilus of Antioch in the theological use of the term Trinity is indicated. Okay. Next. The 3 days shall that were before the creation of luminaries, as the image of the Trinity, God in His word and His wisdom, and therefore day is image of a man and deed of light. Okay, next. Topic Mark Minucius. Felix is most famous for in the Apology of Octavius. Octavius. Next. Apology Octavius. Next. The Theology of Octavius. Next. Literal works. Okay. Next. Philosopher. Nota bene. Aristide. Nota bene. Aristide was the first of to logically prove the existence of God in philosophical terms. Aristide. Okay. Next. Next topic, Saint Irenaeus. Next. Okay. Nota bene. An important task of Saint Irenaeus of Lyon during his episcopal ministry will be the struggle against Gnosticism. Next. Nota bene. After many years of careful leadership of the Gallic Church, Saint Irenaeus suffered martyrdom. Next. Nota bene. Literal works. 5 books against heresies. 5 books against heresies. Or simply against heresies. 5 books against heresies or against heresies. This is work Saint Irenaeus. Okay, next. Next. Nota bene. Soteriology. The doctrine of salvation. Theology Saint Irenaeus. The themes of salvation areas in Saint Irenaeus from a polemic with Docetism. Next. Patristic formula. God become man, so that man become God. God become man, so that man become God. Okay. Theology Saint Irenaeus. Next. Nota bene. As he was a man to be tasted, so was also the Word to be glorified. Therefore, the Son of God, our Lord, the very Word of the Father, is also the Son of Man, because according to humanity he was born of Mary, who came from the man and was herself a man and became the Son of Man. Okay, very well. Next. Nota bene, the term recapitulation. Term recapitulation. This theology, Saint Irenaeus. Next. In Christ the second and new Adam. And Christ this and new Adam. New Adam. Okay, new Adam. A second Eva. Second Eva. Nota bene, the mother of God in the theology of Saint Irenaeus is the second Eva. The mother of God in the theology of Saint Irenaeus is the second Eva. Okay. Next. Theology Saint Irenaeus. Done language or raise people together with. Oh, okay. Okay. Next. Man, not a part of man, is created in the likeness of God. The soul and the spirit can be a part of man, but not of man in any way. The perfect man, the union of the soul, receiving the spirit of the Father with flesh, which is created in the image of God. Okay, very well. Next. Repeat the last lecture. Man was created in the spiritual image of God, but St. Irenaeus says that the Son of God created the human body in the form in the which his word to be incarnated. Incarnate. Man is not only one soul, but also a body. Therefore, we will be resurrected in bodies. Okay, next. Nota bene. The human body is created for the image that the second hypostasis will take. Second hypostasis. Second hypostasis. Next. The flesh does not inherit, but is inherited. Next. Saint Irenaeus says, Christ, instead of the fallen Adam, becomes the leader of all mankind. Christ did what Adam could not do. Christ did what Adam could not do. Okay, next. Nota bene. The doctrine of tradition. The doctrine of the tradition of St. Irenaeus continues that the early apologists things of tradition, but in relation of the Old Testament Church to its writers and prophets. We have also in the theology of Saint Theophilus of Antioch. Continuity coming from antiquity concept. Next. Doctrine of tradition. Nota bene. About the church. St. Irenaeus says, we should not seek from others the truth, which is easy to obtain from the church or the apostles. Like a rich man a treasury, completely poured into in everything that pertains to the truth, so that everyone who wants to takes from is a drink of life. Drink of life. Drink of life. Okay, next. The theology of St. Irenaeus on the new unity of the Holy Trinity. Unity of the Holy Trinity. Like all the theology of St. Irenaeus, his theology of the Trinity manifests itself in the context of an anti-Gnostic polemic. Anti-Gnostic polemic. Next. Nota bene. The theology of the saint is about two hands. By the hands of the Father, that is truth, the Son and the Spirit. Son and the Spirit. Man, and not a part of man, is created in the likeness of God. It's created on the likeness of God. Okay, next. Okay, next. Topic 3. The period of the early church. The period of the 3rd century. The period of active mission and the formation of systematic theology. The period of active mission and the formation of systematic theology. The 3rd century. 3rd century. Okay, next. General characteristic of the period of the 3rd century. The epoch of the formation of systematic theology. The epoch of the formation of systematic theology. Okay, next. What had changed by the beginning of the 3rd century? By the beginning of the 1st century, the church relation with the outside world had radically changed. The apologists did their job. They protected the image of the church from inadequate representations in the East of the pagan world. The path to a broad dialogue between the church and the outside world was open. The mission was still a priority task of the church, but now it was able to move from its passive to its active stage, from defense to a victorious offensive. The outside world was already ready to listen to the church and therefore to enter it. Okay, next. The main task facing the church during this period. The changes that have taken place have led to new tasks. In general, two general tasks. The first church forward in the 3rd century can be one. An active mission. Two, understanding the meaning of the inner life of God for the existence of the created world. One, an active mission. Two, understanding the meaning of the inner life of God for the existence of the created world. The theology of the Logos and introductory dogmatics, the theological themes of the time of the apologetic prepared the ground for deeper reflections of the relationship between God and man. Thus, the second historical task that the church faced on the 1st century was to comprehend the relationship between God as Holy Trinity and man, and more precisely to comprehend the significance of God's inner life for human salvation. Okay, next. As a result, in the direction of the missionary task of the time and the internal impulse of the development of the dogmatic self of the church, systematic theology as such is born. It is accompanied by the birth of the systematic exegesis. Nota bene. Thus, the entire 3rd century can be called the period of active mission and the formation of systematic theology in the life of the church. Next, personalities. The theology of the fathers and teachers of the church of the 3rd century were a most important for church teaching and characteristic imprint on the theology of the school in the which these people were educated and formed their way of thinking. Next. So, the Alexandria School, this West School, Pantheon, Clement of Alexandria, Origen, Saint Dionysius of Alexandria. Okay. Next. Antioch School. Saint George of Neocaesarea. Saint George. Antioch School is East. Next. The Roman Carthaginian School. Tertullian and Saint Cyprian. Cyprian. Okay, next. The Little Asian School. Saint Hippolytus of Rome and Saint Methodius of Patara. Little Asian School. Next. The Alexandria School. 3rd century. Pantheon. Head of the Alexandrian Theological School, the Holy Catholic Church and the Coptic Church, but not Orthodox Church. Next. According to the historian Eusebius Pantheon, the upper the brave preach of the gospel of Christ among the pagans in the east and even reached the land of the Indians. And they say he found the gospel of Matthew brought to them by local residents who knew Christ. I'm sorry, silence, please. Next. Saint Jerome of Stridon points out the Pantheon undertook this missionary journey on the instructions of Bishop Demetrius of Alexandria. Okay, next. Clement of Alexandria. Clement of Alexandria is a Christian theologian, apologist, preacher, and philosopher. The head of the Alexandrian Theological School, who headed it before Origen. His students were Origen and Alexander of Jerusalem. Latin Titus Flavius Clemens. Next. Theology. Clement justifies the need of philosophy for the church. He writes that God himself gave philosophy to the Hellenes as instrument of knowledge of God. For the Hellenes, philosophy was an alternative to the Mosaic law and the prophetic inspiration of the ancient Jews. Clement strongly criticizes the views of those who believe that philosophy is an empty worldly wisdom which causes nothing but heresy and confusion in the souls. The Hellenes without any revelation counter the existence of the single God, the root cause and limit of the universe. For God as a single source of knowledge. Next. Clement was the first to clearly pose the problem of the relationship between faith and reason as a way to overcome ancient skepticism. Faith the duty of knowledge. This is how we perceive the premise of syllogism. Next. Clement was popular with Christian and pagans. Clement was popular with Christian and pagans. Christian and pagans. Next. The rise of Clement wrote Reptico or Exhortation of the Hellenes. Second book, Teacher. Teacher. 3 books. Stromata. 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 Next. The pro prototype is call of the pagans of Greece to convert to Christianity. Greek. Protopetikos. Pros Elenas. Greek. Protopetikos. Pros Elenas. Okay, next. Christ the incarnate Logos is the teacher from the title of Clement's work. Christ the incarnate Logos. Next. The content of Stromatus as the name implies is heterogeneous. Stromates. 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 Clement describes stromata as a work on various topics that are listed at next, like flowers and middle. Flowers and middle. Next. I'm sorry, silence, please, silence. Okay, next. Pagan belief in many gods who are in state of permanent conflict with each other. You can't please the gods. So the pagan has phobias. He doesn't know where he's in danger from. The life of the atheist is also full of troubles because they do not expect from the Lord. Only a religious person understands that behind the external chaos of phenomena there is a transcendent personality who gave us existence. The life is only a preparation for eternal life. The meaning of life is in afterlife, which in the limit of bliss. Okay, next. He is not canonized in Orthodoxy. He is not canonized in Orthodoxy. Until the 17th century, Clement was revered as a saint in the Roman Catholic Church. His name called before the Martyrologies, and his feast fell on. But when in the 7th century the Roman Martyrology was received by Pope Clement, his name was excluded from the calendar on the advice of Cardinal Baronius. Cardinal Baronius. Next. Clement's theological errors. Clement's theological errors. His belief that matter and thought are internal and therefore do not come from God, which contradicts the creation ex nihilo doctrine. Ex nihilo doctrine. His belief in the cosmic cycles preceding the creation of the world is of extra biblical origin. His belief that Christ, as the Logos, was in some sense created. His belief in reincarnation, that is the transmigration of souls. These Clement's theological errors. Next topic, Origen. Origen, the most famous Christian teacher philosopher who had a significant influence on the development of theological thought. Next, Origen. Origen. Adamant. Origen Adamant is a Greek Christian theologian, philosopher, the founder of biblical philology, the founder of Origenism, the author of the term God-man. God-man. Term God-man. He was a student of the Neoplatonist Ammonius Saccas. He studied at the Alexandrian Theological School, which was headed by Clement of Alexandria. Next, Origen was born into a pious Christian family in Egypt, in Alexandria. Origen's father, the grammarian Leonid, did for his faith in the persecution of the North when his son was not yet 70 years old. After his father was imprisoned during the persecution of the church, Origen became even more jealous of the Lord. After Leonie suffered a martyr death, the family property was confiscated, leaving her without means of the livelihood. Next, he became a famous teacher at the Alexandria School. At some point, due the large number of students, he was forced to take an assistant. The child fell on the Heracles, the brother of Plutarch. Our town origin fame began of entering philosopher to him and even heretics who wanted to know his opinion on a particular issue. Next, the list of original works included about 2,000 books. In the ancient sense of the word that is part, Origen's philosophy is stoical, colored Platonism. Spiritual, moral, etc. Nota bene. The veil of the doctrine of the three meanings of the Bible: literal, moral, philosophical, mystical. The system of concept developed by Origen was really used in the construction of church dogmatics. In the Origen, for example, the term God-man was first. God-man. Term God-man. Next. Origen, eschatological optimism, was reflected in the doctrine of physical time or apokatastasis, which suggests that posthumous retribution and hell and relative since God, in His goodness, will ultimately save from the torments of hell not only the righteous, but also all people and demons, and even himself Satan. Next, Origen is the most important theological thinker of the Eastern Church, who left in the indelible stamp on all dogmatic development. He was the first to create a system of Christian doctrine. The theology of Origen in his pedagogical and literary works had a great influence on the perspective of Eastern and Western theology. Western theology. Next. Nota bene, Saint Basil the Great built on the Origen theology, but did not make Origen theological mystics. Next. The historian Evagrius Scholasticus reports that Origen and his heirs were condemned, and the five ecumenical council. Next. Why was Origen condemned, and the five ecumenical council? Origen theological errors. Heresies. Pre-existence of souls. Pre-existence of souls. Origen believed that souls were cast down from heaven to earth, and supposedly souls existed before the birth of the body. Birth of the body. Birth of the body. Our theology states that God is constantly created. Though there are other worlds, apokatastasis, fallen spirits must also return to God at the end of the world. Apokatastasis. This is heresy. This is heresy. Apokatastasis. Next topic. Saint Martha Dionysius of Alexandria. Dionysius of Alexandria, ancient Greek. Dionysius Alexandrius. Bishop of the Alexandria. Reverse is recognized among the saints. The memory is celebrated in the Orthodox Church. October 5. Next. Dionysius was converted into Christianity in adulthood and was student of the famous theologian Origen, and becomes most prominent student. He lived during of persecution of the emperors Dicus and Valerian, of the first Paschal, and known for his extensive, as well as polemics with heretical monarchs, among other topics that he carefully considered was the revelation of John the Theologian. Saint Dionysius died in the 12th year of the reign of Emperor Gallienus. Next. Bishops who gathered in the council in Antioch to condemn the heresy of Paul Samosat. Paul of Samosat. He was already called the Great by his contemporaries, and was the first in the history of the church to be awarded his name. This name. Saint Athanasius glorifies him as teacher of the Catholic Church. He was already called the Great by his contemporaries. Okay. Next. Next. Dogmatic and polemical works. The books on nature. Greek per physios. Latin de natura. Contain a refutation of the cosmological views of Epicurus. Right. The work on the sun name. The work is the first Christian monument to a critical study of the largest philosophical teachings of the antiquity, and indicates that Christian thought represented by its learned defense was a longer contact with general education. of pagan philosophy, but turning to detailed refutation of the various philosophical systems. Next. The exegetical works of Saint Dionysius. The exegetical works of Saint Dionysius. In numerous epistles and some polemical writings, there are detailed interpretation of certain passages of the scriptures. The scriptures were studies of canonical techniques and authenticity of various biblical books. For example, in the Epistle of Basilius and Martyrdom to Origen. Next, okay. Humble apostle rebaptism. Even if baptism was among heretics. Saint Dionysius also spoke out against the heresy of Bishop Savellos. Right, or to Bishop Ammon of Barons. Also perceived 4 books of the Bishop of Rome, Dionysius. Origen on martyrdom, for Arminians on repentance, and on things, Timothy, all nature, on the passion, minorities of Basilius, and the of which he claims that he began to write, and the interpretation on Ecclesiastes. Okay, next. Theology, Saint Dionysius. Unlike his predecessors, in the position of critic of the Alexandrian school, Clement of Alexandria and Origen, Saint Dionysius did not seek nor created a Christian philosophical and theological system. Saint Dionysius did not seek to create a Christian philosophical and theological system. Nota bene. Okay. Okay. The doctrine of the Holy Trinity. By the time of Saint Dionysius, the theology of the Alexandrian school had already been formed by such major representatives as Clement of Alexandria and Origen, despite the insufficient degree of clarity and completeness compared with the theology of the Saint Fathers of the 4th century. It provided the means of overcome the monarchist, this is heresy, monarchist trends in doctrine of the Saint Fathers. The Trinity developed by the 4th century and addition by this time. The questions of theology had been revealed in the works of the theologians. Tertullian, Hippolytus of Rome, Novatian. Next. Okay. Nota bene. To this end, as he cited comparison from the created world, indicating the quality of nature and hypostatic difference, human birth, a plant descended from a seed, or from a root, a river flowing from a spring. Okay, next. Thank you for your attention. I will send presentation chat, Telegram. You're welcome.